First, my brother died. A week later, my nephew followed, 6 years old, too small for a coffin. At the funeral, my sister-in-law didn't shed a tear, not one. Her face was carved in stone. "Stop clinging to a dead child," she told me coldly, as if grief were weakness, as if love were inconvenience. But I clung anyway. I visited his grave every day. I talked to him in whispers, brushing dirt from his name. One afternoon, the cemetery was empty, silent, the kind of silence that pressed on your ribs. I knelt at the grave, murmuring his name. And then I heard it, a small voice behind me. "Uncle?" I turned, trembling. And there he stood, my nephew, pale, thin, alive, or something close enough to it. His eyes met mine, and I froze. He reached for me, whispering, "Don't tell her." The world tilted, my breath locked in my chest. His body was warm, solid, not the ghost I had feared. My mind stuttered between grief and clarity. If he was alive, then what had I buried? Whose body lay under that stone? And then the pieces began to shift. My brother's sudden death, the hospital's vague explanations, my sister-in-law's dry eyes, her cold dismissal of grief. She hadn't lost a child, she had hidden him. But why? Money, insurance, custody, maybe worse. The motives didn't matter yet. What mattered was the truth was buried deeper than the grave I stood over. I took my nephew's hand. His fingers clutched mine, desperate, fragile. I promised him silence. But silence is never free. Inside, a storm began to coil. I played the part of the grieving uncle a little longer. Flowers at the grave, polite dinners with her, measured questions. And in the shadows, I investigated. Hospital records, altered. The death certificate signed by a doctor who'd lost his license years ago. Insurance policies, fat and gleaming. Her signature everywhere. Phone logs, midnight calls to numbers hidden under generic contacts. Every detail screamed conspiracy. But one thing burned hottest, her apathy. No mother buries her child without cracking, unless the child isn't buried at all. I followed her one night. She drove outside the city, headlights carving through dark country roads. She stopped at a decaying farmhouse. Through the window I saw him, my nephew, alive, sitting at a table with a bowl of soup, his shoulders hunched, his eyes hollow. She didn't look at him like a mother. She looked at him like an asset. I clenched my fists, nails cutting skin. My rage stayed quiet, coiled, waiting. Because if rage speaks too soon, the truth slips away. The file I built was surgical. Photos, records, bank statements, witness accounts, everything mapped, undeniable. I didn't hand it to police. I handed it to her. At her kitchen table, I placed the folder before her. She flipped through page after page, each one a blade. Her face drained of color. Her lips parted. Then came the tremor. "You don't understand," she whispered. I said nothing. She tried again, louder, desperate. "He's worth more to me dead. Do you understand? More." The words landed like acid. No hesitation, no regret. She admitted it as if it were simple arithmetic. And in that moment, I knew my brother hadn't died of misfortune either. Her betrayal was absolute, her motherhood a mask, her love a weapon. I leaned back, watching her crumble. No fury in my eyes, only calculation. From my coat, I slid one final document across the table. Custody transfer papers, already signed, already sealed. The system had been moved quietly, weeks in advance. Her mouth fell open. No. Yes. Her hands shook, reaching for the papers as if she could undo them. But her name was irrelevant now. Her power severed. I let the silence crush her, each second heavier than a scream. "You killed my brother," I said finally. My voice was ice. "You tried to kill his son. You buried your soul for money." She broke then, tears finally spilling, not for loss, but for herself. I stood, leaving her with the folder, with her collapse, the walls of her perfect deception caving inward. I took my nephew's hand as we walked away from her house. He didn't look back, neither did I. He would live. She would rot in the truth she created. No trial could hurt her more than the silence of her own home, emptied of the boy she saw as currency. Grief had once chained me. Now it sharpened me. Betrayal no longer shocked me. It defined me. I didn't lose a nephew. I reclaimed him. I didn't lose a brother. I avenged him. And as for her, I buried her without digging a grave. She will spend the rest of her life alive, but already dead, because the truth is a coffin she cannot climb out of.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.